While full-time RV living has been the most awesome adventure of our lives,
greatest adventure of our lives,
make no mistake, there have been some terrifying moments. And the culprit? Bad weather in an RV.
Which is pretty apropos right now with this hurricane ripping up the coast.
Exactly. Hurricanes, tornadoes, extreme wind, you name it.
We went through it.
And for an RVer, it's a matter of life and death. So in this video, we're going to share what you need to know about camping in extreme and severe weather. It's one thing when you're in a sticks and bricks and you're stationary and you know your county, you know all the safe places, you have an evacuation route. But for an RVer, when you're in the middle of travel and you face bad weather, it's twice as scary because you have no idea where the sturdiest building is. You have no idea what county you're in half the time. There are times where you're going to have to evacuate. I just hate to break it to you. Yep. But so what do you do if you have to evacuate?
Welcome back to the RV Odd Couple. My name is John.
And I'm Mercedes. And long story short, we found freedom, independence, and adventure. RVing full-time. Now we're building a community that loves God, family, country here at Thunder Canyon. Everyone, even humanity, needs to monitor the weather, right?
Always, no matter where you are. But in an RV, the rules are a little bit different, and there's some specifics that we're going to share with you.
Okay, guys, so John and I have a lot of experience RVing and in extreme weather, and we've done a lot of research. So please jot some notes down. We're going to cover a lot of information really fast.
And we're also going to tell you the biggest mistakes we made along the way, because we've been in a hurricane, we've been in a tornado, we've driven through crazy weather, and so we feel we got a pretty good idea of exactly what to look out for and what you need to do to protect yourself and your family. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do so and give us this video a thumbs up to share it with as many people as possible.
All right, so let's start with the one that's on the news right now, which is the hurricanes.
Yep, Hurricane Helene is ripping up.
And according to Ryan Hall, y'all, this is going to be a
3 or a 4 category hurricane. But if you're an RV Odd Squad member and you want to escape to safety, come on up to Thunder Canyon. We're going to open the park for you this weekend only, free of charge, just $5 or $10 for whatever electricity you use. But if you guys are in trouble, RV Odd Squad members, you know you have refuge here at Thunder Canyon Camp Gratitude. Come on up and spend the weekend with us.
This season is going to be a lot worse for hurricanes, and I've already seen and noticed a lot more activity, right? So for example, some people might consider putting straps to their RV.
Yeah, but that's big money, and typically you won't do that, which is screwing your RV to the ground with straps. Very expensive to put those footers in, and most people that move around when they're RVing, you're not going to have straps. And I don't know any other campground that actually offers strap downs at their parks.
Well, and not only that, a lot of campgrounds will actually shut down. They'll kick you out.
Yeah, and that's one thing you always want to check for with your campground. Happened to us. We were down in Royal Coachman. A couple hurricanes came at us while we were there, and the manager reached out to us and told us that if we were inside the cone, we could be evacuated, meaning that at any minute, they can tell you to get out of here, go somewhere else. And so know the campground rules that you're staying at. I can tell you with about a 1,000,000% accuracy that 1,000 Trails, Royal Coachman will throw you out of their campground if they think they're going to get hit.
Another tip for hurricanes in an RV is maybe just avoid Florida, Louisiana, and Texas during hurricane season. We actually have campers that come up to Thunder Canyon in the summertime because they live in Florida in an RV and they know that they're safer and the heat isn't as bad up here. This is a weather event that you know is coming. That's the only saving grace about them. But even then, it's not just the hurricane itself. Flooding. Are you in a flood zone? That's a big one people don't even consider. You get past the hurricane, but now you're treading 3 feet of water.
And people don't realize how much these RVs can get blown away from not too much wind.
That's right. And speaking of wind, let's talk about tornadoes. I think one of the scariest things about tornadoes while RVing is just how fast. You don't have the heads up, that you would with the hurricane. We made the mistake of traveling through Tornado Alley without really thinking, oh, we're traveling through Tornado Alley in season.
We ripped around this country, trusting God, doing our prayers every day, and really never paid attention until it happened to us a couple of times. Then we started watching the weather out in front. Know where the tornado was.
Parts of our RV are literally flying off.
I can't get out of the truck.
I have never before thought like, I'm gonna die. Oh my God. And what happened to us was terrifying because it was in between our starting point and our destination where we got into some trouble.
We got in trouble and we saw this storm chasing us for about an hour and a half. We heard all the warnings. We knew it was coming at us. We were so close to our destination and we decided to risk it. We decided to try to outrace this tornado. And unfortunately, it caught up to us right as like a mile, 2 miles from our destination. And so it was pretty scary. Mercedes was in the Jeep behind us. She was watching the rig go crazy, spinning around.
Then I see all of a sudden that awning that was getting loose like 30 seconds or a minute before.
And granted, we're parked on the side of the road now. She's seeing things I can't see.
It flies off, okay? It's like
our awning cover completely ripped off, babe.
Parts of our RV are literally flying off.
Yeah. I got out of the car and I ran back to grab it, and I wasn't paying too much attention to the traffic, and I had this 18-wheeler go flying by me that I didn't even realize was there.
Oh my God.
It's one thing when you're in a sticks and bricks and you're stationary and you know your county, you know all the safe places, you have an evacuation route. But for an RVer, when you're in the middle of travel and you face bad weather, it's twice as scary because you have no idea where the sturdiest building is. You have no idea what county you're in half the time. That's why I love the paper maps. You literally can tell what county you're in. So as an RVer, ooh, you better pay twice as much attention monitoring the weather, not just where you're starting off, not just your destination, but everything in between.
Yeah, you should always have an emergency radio. You should obviously have your phone, be watching the forecast, do your research. Know where you're driving into. Know if you're going to be staying somewhere for a certain amount of time and you're in a high-risk area, to look where the storm shelter is, because the worst thing you can do is stay in an RV if a tornado hits. Get out of it. Get to a storm shelter. We've had to do it a couple of times.
That's right. This is where the preparation is key. Did you ask the person at the campground, hey, where's the nearest tornado shelter? Hey, what's the sturdiest building in the park? Sometimes all you're going to get is a sturdy building, but I'll tell you what, a sturdy building is 10 times better
than an
RV. So although with the tornado, you know, we have this image of the RV flying and flying around, it's actually more dangerous, the debris. It's the wind. It's not so much that the tornado is going to run right through the RV, although that happens too. When a tornado goes through a campground, it is terrible. So
tip, guys, watch the weather super close. Have a weather radio for backup emergency, backup power if you have it. Pack everything up. And the danger in a tornado is if you have a neighbor that doesn't pack their stuff up, it's coming at you. So watch what your neighbors are doing, is not only what you're doing, but pay attention to what your neighbors are doing and look for projectiles that might rip into your RV in a heavy wind.
Did you know that the wind is more likely to cause damage to your RV? And did you know that thunderstorms can produce winds up to 100 miles per hour? We don't think about thunderstorms as severe weather, but I tell you what, they are. And according to a 2003 study from Kent State University, perpendicular wind speeds of 53 miles per hour could overturn a stationary 18-foot travel trailer. And it took 65-mile-an-hour winds to upset a 20-foot motorhome. The motorhome was heavier.
But the third year we were RVing, what I would do when I knew a storm was coming in is I would attach my fifth wheel to my truck. Just give it a little bit more meat if I had nowhere else to go and I was going to try to go through the storm. I would always attach my truck, my GMC 3500 dually, to my fifth wheel just to hold it down on the ground a little bit harder.
Yeah, heavier, right? That's why the motorhomes don't move.
Weight is your friend,
Yep. And I tell you what, if you're an RVer, the wind is 10 times more dangerous than a hurricane or the tornado. You are way more likely to experience wind, and most importantly, you're way more likely to underestimate it. You think wind, oh, the awning, right? No.
Put your awnings in.
Wind is so much more dangerous than that because the camping gear becomes projectiles. Things like bicycles, motorcycles, grills, propane tanks, tables, chairs, dog crates, storage bins, potted plants, water filters, hoses, all of that goes flying before your RV's gonna go flying.
But not only should you put all your stuff away, keep your eyes on your neighbors, people around you, where some of their projectiles could come and hit you.
Because you could do everything right, but if your neighbor's a slob kebab, you're in trouble.
Offer to go over and help them. Hey, you mind if I help you put those chairs away?
Another underestimated extreme weather danger in an RV are tree branches.
Oof.
How often do we park under this beautiful tree and we get this nice, lovely shade, and then it rains a little, and there's a little bit of wind, and it's not a big deal, right? In an RV, it sure is.
It is. So when you pull into any park, guys, look at your surrounding environment. Look up above your RV.
Look up.
Look for dead trees.
Yeah.
Right? Look for any branches that are loose, because and you guys know this, there has been some horror stories of RVs going through just simple thunderstorms and having trees completely destroy your RV. So just do a visual inspection around your RV. Look up, look at the trees, see if anything's dead. And if you got wind coming, you better double check.
That's right. If you are in an RV and you're experiencing severe weather, there are times where you're going to have to evacuate. I just hate to break it to you. But so what do you do if you have to evacuate? Well, the first thing that I would just mention is propane. Maybe you should close off that tank a little. You don't think about it, but if it's that extreme that you're going to evacuate, maybe you should shut that off.
Yeah, turn off all your stuff, all your connections, turn it off and get out of there.
That's right. And then another thing is a go bag. You don't think about having a go bag when you're in an RV because you're already in a go light situation. But if you have to leave your RV, here's a couple things that are going to help you a lot. Number one, jackets, flashlight with charged batteries or fresh batteries.
Or battery backup.
That's right. Rain gear. How about this one, guys? Appropriate shoes. Your flip-flops or fuzzy slippers, because you know this is going to hit at 2 a.m. in the morning, are not going to cut it if you have to evacuate. So you need some solid shoes, closed-toed. Another thing people don't think about, the pets.
Check with the storm shelter. Not all shelters will allow your pets inside. Make sure you have a good leash too.
Yeah, and actually, I am going to call you out on this one. The last time we had to go to the emergency shelter, John refused to go in because they wouldn't accept Skippy, so he bravely stayed with Skippy
I
in the car.
sat out in the truck with Skippy. Sage and Mercedes went into the
like,
structure.
You guys go.
I sat outside and watched the storm and listened to the radio.
Guys, I know we threw a lot of information at you, but you can quickly see how RVing in extreme weather is not the same as being in your house in extreme weather. Diligence is key, and so please help us get this video out to as many people as possible. Don't be like us. We took the weather for granted. We're like, oh, we'll be fine, and we experienced some scary moments that you don't have to.
Yep, and if you are down in that zone where the cone is in Florida or southern Georgia, guys, and you're a member of the RV Odd Squad, come on up to Thunder Canyon. We're opening the doors this weekend for free for $5 or $10 for your electricity. So come on up, hang out. We'll have a hurricane party together and go through this together.
See you in the next video.